What's up, everybody? It's Igo. I am so excited. We are 1 week away from Nintendo's official Switch 2 Direct. We are being swarmed with trailers and leaks and fakes and all sorts of other rumors floating around, and so I just wanted to give my thoughts on everything that's happening and what we know so far. I'd also like to talk about what I'm hoping to see at this upcoming Direct. There's three things that I'm really looking for here. One is going to be the console specs and features. The second one is going to be the potential of some certain accessories that are going to be exclusive to the Switch 2. And then the upcoming games that are going to release on this console and what we're kind of looking for in terms of an upgrade gaming experience for the user. So right out of the gate, talking about the Switch itself and the console and some of the specs we're looking at, we are looking at an upgraded 8-inch screen, which I think is going to be the biggest benefit for me in my old eyes. My vision's getting bad and it's hard to see that original OG Switch screen. Unfortunately, this screen has been confirmed to be an LCD panel and not an OLED panel. There is a potential that they may make a Switch 2 OLED edition, much like they did the first console, and I think that's pretty likely, although unfortunate that they just didn't release it that way in the beginning, especially considering the OLED model of the Switch was so popular. The other thing that we're looking at that's really weird and kind of a feature of the new console is the Joy-Con being a mouse. Nintendo did actually make a patent for this of the Joy-Con being used as a mouse, and they even showed that there is functionality for the triggers and the thumbstick and buttons to be used simultaneously while the Joy-Con is in mouse mode. This would greatly expand the number of games that we could play on the Nintendo Switch, but it's just kind of weird to not give us normal mouse support. So I'm hoping that if this is a true thing and we do have a Joy-Con mouse, which might be a fun gimmick every now and then and may expand the number of potential games that we could play, that they do add support for a regular mouse. That way you can have a little bit more comfort if you are at home and better ergonomics for longer play sessions. The Nintendo Switch 2, I also believe, is going to have some weird and wacky accessories and kind of additions to it, similar to how when we went from the DS to the DSi. That Type-C port is what's really going to interact with a lot of these accessories, so first off, we can just charge the Switch through the top without needing to put it on a stand or anything, which is going to be great when you're on the go. But there's also some rumors for a camera potentially being on here. I'm not sure what the use case would be for this. Maybe some AR things for specific games, or similar to like the Xbox's Kinect, although that thing was pretty finicky, so I'm hoping that that's not a big thing. The other thing that we are potential to see, and I spoke about this in my previous video, is a second screen that would be slotted onto the top of the Switch and create like a clamshell, like a DS. Now, in my previous video, I did talk about how this is very unlikely, but it would be very exciting, and this would be the best way to emulate DS games. And if it comes, I'm gonna buy like 3 of them, because I have a feeling they're gonna be flimsy and break, but 2, I just wanna have them because they're cool. I love DS games, and being able to emulate those on my Switch would be great, because then we would have so much of Nintendo's library all in one console, because that's the thing that gamers want right now, is to be able to play all of their games all in one place. And so when the Steam Deck brought, you know, all of the Steam library and all of their other PC library over to a portable setup, that was huge. And so now we're trying to get all of Nintendo all in one place on the Switch 2 with NSO, backwards compatibility for the OG Switch games. A lot of the Wii U games were ported over to the Switch, and even some Wii games. And then if we were to bring Game Boy and NES, SNES with all the NSO Online stuff, I think there's even Sega Genesis on there now. And then we add the DS library on top of that with that second screen. This console would be like a Nintendo madhouse of games and content, of endless hours of fun that you could have. And for people who are kind of maybe in a younger generation who have never held a DS, this would give them access to that library of games. Now, the thing about this second screen is that the top screen, you know, could play the game just like normal, and then the bottom screen is the actual Switch, which is touchscreen. So I'm hoping that they do add a stylus with this upward screen, the second screen thing. That way we can use the stylus for games that need it. Whether or not this is going to come true is really just kind of a pipe dream on myself and some other old people's bucket list, where we just want to play all of our Nintendo games all in one console. So I'm really hoping for a second screen, but it's pretty unlikely. Now let's talk about the real thing that's going to make this console popular and survive, and that's the games. Nobody plays a console if it doesn't have great games on it. One of the big ones that we're looking at is a new Mario Kart game. As somebody who has put endless hours into every single Mario Kart game, I'm super excited for a new Mario Kart game, especially with Mario Kart 8, since they didn't create a 9, they just kind of gave it that DLC and expanded on it, which I thought was totally fine. I'm super excited for a new Mario Kart game and to see what they do with that new Mario Kart. Because me and my friends play this 24/7 all the time on the weekends when we're hanging out, and it's just a very popular game to play on the go and play in parties. So I love Mario Kart. The other game that we're kind of looking at for an upgrade is Xenoblade X. Xenoblade X just recently released on the OG Switch, and I've been playing a lot of that. As you know, I used to be a Xenoblade YouTuber. I still kind of am. I love the games, but I don't make that content as much anymore because I just don't have the time. Xenoblade X runs beautifully on the original Switch, and so much better than it did back on the Wii U with its triple-core CPU GameCube thing that was glued together. It was a terrible chip. Runs so much better, but I'm expecting it to look a lot greater on the new Switch, and I think that's really what this game was designed for, and we're going to see some of those VRR capabilities on the new Switch with Xenoblade X. There are also some rumors of Elden Ring coming to the Nintendo Switch. I love Elden Ring. I'm going to keep playing it on my PC because that game is very graphically intensive, but the potential to play it on the go on my Switch would be pretty cool. Another game that was kind of similar, I guess, would have been like Skyrim. I played Skyrim on the Switch while I was on the go on a trip once on the airplane, and that was super fun and a great experience. So I'd love to see some more kind of RPG solo games that are intensive graphically but can still run on the console. Now, there's also the discussion of Nintendo's biggest IPs releasing new games, right? There is a rumor for a Luigi's Mansion 4. There's a rumor for a Mario Odyssey 2. I think a Mario Odyssey 2 would be right down the ballpark of what we need, and I would love to play a Super Mario Odyssey 2. Odyssey is one of my favorite Mario games of all time. I loved how it incorporated new mechanics with old mechanics from the old games and kind of bashed them together in such a creative and charming way. So I would love to see a second version of that game. Where we get into an interesting territory is with Zelda. Now, Zelda, we had Breath of the Wild, which was amazing, one of my favorite games, and I sunk over 500 hours into the original. Then we had Tears of the Kingdom, which was essentially Breath of the Wild 2, and was a very similar game, almost the same map, and to me felt very the same, and didn't give enough difference for me to really be something that was as impactful as the original game. I would like to see another open world Zelda game, but I don't want to be in the same world as Breath of the Wild. I'd like something new. Because my favorite part about Breath of the Wild was the exploration, was the fact that I could go off on 20 side quests before I actually did the main mission, because that's what we RPG players like to do, is go get all the cool gear and the things and the armor and show up to the boss fight. Way too powerful and way over-leveled for the fight for no good reason, because we just want to smash that boss into the ground and win. Or I recently have been playing Monster Hunter Wilds, speaking of smashing monsters, and Monster Hunter Rise was amazing on the Nintendo Switch, and I sunk hundreds of hours into it, fighting the same monster over and over and over again just because I wanted drippy armor, and now I'm doing it in Wilds. Now, Wilds is a very intensive Monster Hunter game and has had tons of graphic bugs. I'm hoping Capcom kind of smooths over as I've been playing it on my PC as of late. However, Monster Hunter Wilds would be so much fun on the Switch too, so that's another game that I'm hoping to see on this upcoming console. Let me know down in the comments below what games that you are excited for the Nintendo Switch 2 and what you would like to see feature-wise or anything else about the Nintendo Switch 2. I'd love to have a discussion about it. I know that this video was a little haphazard. I just wanted to get something out quick before this upcoming Direct. These days, I'm a lot busier with work, and I just make YouTube videos when I can, but I do try to get these out as fast as I can when I can. I'm hoping to make a lot more over the summer. I'm a school teacher, so kind of when we hit summer break is when I get all my free time back again to game and make videos, and I'm super excited for this upcoming new console to make as many videos as I can for you guys. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments what kind of things you were excited for and what games you're looking for. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.